Sometimes I think there are too many video games out there. Like, you hear about something, you see a few screenshots, maybe a video, and you think, that's probably not for me. And then you try it and it's great. That's what happened with me with Vampire Survivors. This is an auto battler, so you don't need to actually press any buttons to attack, you're just kind of moving your character around. And the more monsters you kill, the more little gems that you pick up, those act as your experience points. And then you can add more weapons to your arsenal up to a certain point. You can also upgrade those weapons so they do more damage, they have better attacks. It's pretty awesome. I have no idea why I find this game so addictive, but it's really a lot of fun. Periodically, you also stumble across a few kind of special enemies that will drop a treasure chest, and that sort of acts like an additional level up because it'll give you one of your items that's an upgrade, or it'll give you a new item. Overall, it's a pretty awesome experience. There are a bunch of different champions that you can pick up as well, and each champion kind of has their own base attack that they can use. Or I guess the game calls them survivors, so I should probably call them that too. When I first started playing this, I could see a lot of the inspiration that came from different Castlevania games. A lot of the items in this, or at least a lot of the weapons, are kind of taken from Castlevania, or at least they appear to be. You have the whip, you've got the dagger, you've got the magic wand, you have the Bible, you've got garlic, you've got a bunch of things that you would see not only in the first 3 Castlevania games, but you'd see throughout the entire series. So that was kind of cool to see all of those different things, see how they changed the names a little bit, so it doesn't really line up too much with Castlevania, and even see some of the characters in this that, at least in my opinion, are very reminiscent of Castlevania games. You're on a time limit with this, so you basically have 30 minutes in whatever world you pick, and there are a few different stages that you can pick and go through. And at that 30-minute mark, all the enemies go away and death shows up, and then death just finds you and kills you. There's no way, as far as I know, to actually defeat death in this game. You're just trying to get as far as you can, get all of the items in the level, or discover the coffins which will hold or unlock different characters. And I'm guessing the end game here is to find Dracula. At least that's what I think, because the game doesn't really tell you that. It just feels like a fun little auto battler where you get a whole bunch of ridiculous spells, you can power them up as best you can, and generally just have a lot of fun with the game. It really is a ton of fun to go through this, and it's one of the more enjoyable experiences I've had with an indie game. I really like the look of this game, but I also really like pixel art. This is a style of game that uses a more retro feel to it, and I really enjoy that. I can see if some people are not really into pixel art, or not into retro games that much, or don't think that this art style is very good, will probably knock on the graphics a little bit. But I really like them. I think it's kind of cool. It's not super detailed, but there is some detail to it. You can tell what the different monsters are supposed to be. Each character looks different. The spells and everything look pretty awesome. Different weapons look great. I think the game looks really awesome. The different environments, different challenges that you go through, they all look really cool. I just kind of like the overall style of this game. In some ways, it feels a little bit like you're playing a Castlevania spinoff. And yeah, I'm going to mention that a few times. But it does feel like you're playing with different characters that could be in a Castlevania game. The different weapons and everything look really cool. The effects from everything looks great. Sometimes the environment doesn't really help you out too much, because there are certain times, especially in the forest, where it looks like you can pass through something, but you can't. So, like, some of the bushes you can just move over perfectly fine, and then every once in a while you'll run into something that doesn't look like it should be a tree or doesn't look like it should be impassable, but it is. Like in the dairy where there are certain, I think they're like milk vats or something, and you're not supposed to walk over those, but it kind of looks like you can. And then you see the monsters coming at you and they can just go through whatever. So that's a little frustrating, but aside from that, it's not too bad, to be honest with you. It's just a few minor annoyances here and there. As far as I can tell, there's no real story to this, at least from what I've gathered from playing it. Every once in a while, when you do come across a hidden character, especially ones that are hidden in coffins, you kind of get a little glimpse that you're looking for Dracula, which kind of tracks with the Castlevania vibe that the game gives off. I don't really know if you are or not, but I haven't really found that to be a problem. Just the overall lack of a story or anything like that, or really getting into who all these characters are beyond like just the here's this person, this is kind of their special ability, and this is what they do. Yeah, I haven't found that to be a major issue with the game at all, which I don't know. I'm not really totally sure how to feel about that, but some part of me, the part of me that really loves RPGs and that sort of thing, that part of me would love to have a story to kind of explain who all these characters are, what's going on, why all of this stuff is happening, why you have a 30-minute time limit. But the other part of me that just really loves playing video games is like, it doesn't matter. It's fine. You don't really need to know what's going on. But yeah, I guess this lets you sort of create your own story for what's happening, which is always something that I used to enjoy doing with retro games, just creating my own story with my imagination and everything. So that is something fun that this game lets you do, even if it doesn't give you like a real in-depth story or tell you exactly what's happening. I had seen this game show up in Game Pass a few times, and I saw a few people talking about how they didn't think it looked very good, mostly people who want to try to get like a console wars going again, or think that the console wars matters. I didn't really think too much of it, because I just saw it and was like, I think I might pass on that one. So I did for a few months. And then I just decided to sit down because I was working on another project and I was trying to find some games that fit into what that may or may not end up being. And I was like, I'll give Vampire Survivors a try. It's free on Game Pass, so why the hell not? And I started playing it and I was like, okay, this is a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. And yeah, there's quite a bit of challenge to it. I love some of the abilities, like pairing the Bible with garlic. I think that's a lot of fun, and I've kind of fallen into a trap of doing that with every character. It's just kind of neat to see what happens when you max out something's level, and then you're able to evolve it. It's really cool to see just what you can do and the different combinations of the different weapons and everything. It's fun to see all of that. So yeah, I've had a lot of fun with this one. So let me know what you think about Vampire Survivors or really anything else in the comments below, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.